Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Thursday morning, if you're watching this the day that I'm putting it out. And welcome to the month of April. I didn't put a video out yesterday, so this is my first time putting one out in the month of April, and I'm so excited because April brings so many wonderful things. It brings a lot of springtime and warmth and flowers and all that good stuff. And also, April is a really special month. April's a really special month because it is Autism Awareness Month. And that's why a lot of you today are wearing blue to light it up blue for autism awareness. So today is the specific day, the day that we actually celebrate autism awareness. I think it's International Autism Awareness Day. Might not be correct on that, but today is the day, but it lasts all month, this celebration. And it's a celebration of our differences. It's a celebration of people who might respond to things a little differently than we do, people whose brains might work a little bit differently than yours might. It is about people specifically who have autism, but it's also a great time for us to think about all the things that make us different. And there are lots of ways that we can grow and develop and be different people, or maybe be born with different things. And all of that is okay. So it's a celebration of people with autism and bringing about awareness to autism, but it's also about bringing awareness to so many differences, so many things that make us unique, make us who we are. So today I wanted to kind of kick things off by putting out a little video this morning. And I'm going to share this story with you guys because I think you can all probably relate. This morning I was so excited because I was going to read you one of my favorite books, which is called Where Does Oliver Fit In? And it's a great book for Autism Awareness Month. I've read it in the past. I was so excited, and I went to my office, which is where I am now, at my house, not my office at school. And I brought a bunch of books home with me, and I was positive I had brought that one. That's not here. It's at LPES. And it was a moment of just going, oh, I'm kind of missing having all my things and missing seeing all of your faces and all of my friends who work at LPES. So I thought you guys might appreciate that because sometimes it's hard for us to make this adjustment to being at home. And even for grown-ups, it's a little difficult at times. We just miss being together. We miss having our things. We miss our daily routine. So it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to acknowledge that and to go, yeah, I'm kind of sad. I kind of wish things were a little different. But it's also okay to celebrate together and to still try to be together as best we can. So today I found a new book that I thought I'd share with you. And I'm going to present this online because I had to buy a Kindle edition of it. So let's see if this will work. I think it will. It is called All My Stripes, a story for children with autism, written by Shana Rudolph and Danielle Royer. Now, I'm going to pause for a moment. It does say it's a story for children with autism, but I read through this and I think it's a great book for people who do have autism and people who don't, to kind of get a better understanding of what it's like for someone who might be autistic. So All My Stripes, and it's about this little cute zebra character. I'm going to skip past a little bit, and here we go. Zane ran home as fast as he could. Nobody gets me, Mama. Mama hugged Zane. He began to tell her about his bad day. This morning in art class, the teacher started a hoof painting project. I didn't want to get paint on my hooves, so the teacher gave me a paintbrush. All the other zebras noticed and were making fun of me because they didn't understand why I wouldn't use my hooves. Mama said, I bet that made you feel different from the rest of the group. Zane replied, It did, but paint is just too weird to touch. Sometimes people with autism, this is Mrs. Heftler speaking, not the book. Sometimes people with autism have trouble touching things that other people don't. They might not want to touch paint or get their hands dirty like that, or touching other things or certain kinds of food or textures might bother them or upset them. Not everybody who has autism, but some. During math class, the fire alarm blared loudly. While the children in my class were getting in line quietly, I hid under the desk, screaming and covering my ears. The class left without me, and I was scared until the firefighters found me. When the class came back from lunch, everyone was putting their lunch boxes in their cubbies. Some classmates were talking about a video game I play all the time, but I didn't know how to start talking to them. I started talking about all the things I knew about the game, but since I was staring at the floor, nobody knew I was talking to them. When the other kids walked away, I started talking louder. I really wanted them to hear me, but everybody was getting ready for science class. Pause for a moment. So sometimes people with autism, they might not look at you when they talk, they might be looking someplace else. And again, when we talk about having autism or when we talk about ways that we might be different or our brains might work differently, it doesn't mean that everybody who has autism does this, but some people who have autism do. It also means that if you have trouble looking at someone when you're talking to them, it doesn't necessarily mean you have autism. That makes sense. We sat down for science and we're learning about the planets. Our teacher gave us each a planet to draw, but I wanted to create my own. When it came time to present, I felt different from the rest of the class again. My teacher loved my planet and said, "Whatever floats your boat." I spent the rest of the afternoon looking for a boat in the classroom. Zane was crying. How come all anyone sees is my autism stripe? Mama carried Zane over to the mirror. When I look at you, I see many different stripes. If one of them were missing, you wouldn't be the same. Pause again for a moment, boys and girls. So you're going to notice that in the illustration, he has this like square kind of stripe that's red on his forehead. And they're calling it his autism stripe. People with autism don't have a stripe that makes them look different. And his mom is going to talk in a moment about all the things in him that are different that you wouldn't be able to see on the outside of someone's body, like someone being kind or their good heart or things that make them unique. Uh, this book is choosing to make it seem like it's actual stripes, actual things you could see, but you can always see if someone has autism from the outside. You can always see if someone thinks a little differently than you do or acts a little differently than you do. So I didn't want you to get too confused, even though the book is talking about that. Okay, back to the story. His mama said, "I see your pilot stripe. When we get lost in the city, you always remember the way home." Your caring stripe makes you act kindly towards others. When your classmates think it's funny to bully other kids, you come to the rescue. Your honesty stripe lets me always trust your word. When other parents have to worry that their kids aren't telling the truth, I know you always are. My favorite stripe is your curiosity stripe. When all the other kids are falling asleep in class, you always want to know more. I love when you come home and tell me everything you learned. Sometimes you ask me questions and I don't even know the answers. Mama pointed out the rest of Zane's amazing stripes. The more stripes she explained, the better Zane began to feel about himself. By the time she was finished, Zane loved himself again. Zane ran outside, feeling the warmth of the sun. Finally, he felt proud of all his stripes. He said, There's more to me than just my autism stripe. It's just part of me. The other parts make me whole, make the whole me. I love each stripe because without them, I wouldn't be me. And that, my friends, is the end of our story, All My Stripes. So, just to go back and review, uh, people with autism, they might act a little differently than you might act. They might not like certain textures, like touching paint or sand. Um, they might get scared of loud noises. Sometimes their senses are a little bit more heightened. They're a little bit stronger than ours, so or yours. If a sound is happening, it might seem like that's all they can hear and be really overwhelming to them. Again, it's not everyone with autism. And again, if sounds are really loud for you, it doesn't mean that you have autism necessarily. It just means that sometimes sounds are loud. Um, and I love how his mama at the end of the book starts to talk about all the things about him that are different, all the things that make him, Zane, who he is. And each and every one of you have that too. Each and every one of you is parts of yourself, has different stripes that make you different from other kids. Whether it's an autism stripe or not, there are different things about each and every one of us. So this is Autism Awareness Month. We are celebrating those who have autism and making ourselves a little bit more aware and trying to understand our friends who might have differences than us. So I hope that this book was a little helpful to give you some insight. My older students, I know we've talked about this in past years, especially during April for Autism Awareness Month. But for my kindergartners and even my first graders, I hope that this book is a good introduction to understanding how other kids might act, other people might act, or maybe you might act. So, boys and girls, I hope you have a great day. Tomorrow, we have a Panther Pride meeting. I'm so excited. At the Panther Pride meeting, I'm going to recommend another video you can watch. And we also, for our special fun link update tomorrow, there's going to be a few options of other videos that you could go and see, all in honor of Autism Awareness Month. So I hope you check some of those out. All right, gang, I'll see y'all soon. Miss you guys. Bye.